If you're just joining us, we're going to go live in just a couple minutes. Hang on for a second. We'll be back. And today's author is John Butler. We'll see you soon. Welcome to the latest installment, the third installment of the Parks Alliance Read Along. My name is Steve Taylor, and this is Lula DeFersha, and we're both with the Philadelphia Parks Alliance.
Yes.
Lula, tell us a little bit about the Parks Alliance and what we do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lula DeFersha. Like Steve said, I am the campaign director for Philadelphia Park Alliance. We are super excited for you all to join us. This is our third read along that we are doing, and we're partnering with our local Philadelphia authors to read children's book. Since we are in this unusual times, we thought it would be just another creative way to kind of stay in touch for our audience, but maybe give some parents and families a break from, homeschooling with their kids and children. So we thought, why not bring local authors and let them read children's book. So the Philadelphia Park Alliance, we are a nonprofit organization. We campaign for outstanding parks and recreations and open spaces, so to make Philadelphia a healthy, vibrant, and sustainable place for everyone to live. If you want to learn more about us, please visit our website, which is philipparks.org, as you can see it on our banner, or visit our various social medias as well, our Facebook page that you're on right now, or our Instagram and Twitter. If you go to our website, you will see just our icons for our social media. So you can just click on it and it will take you to whichever ones that you want. And we are actually currently working on several different projects, but today we thought we'd talk about one just so you could do it with yourself. As you know, we all are homebound for now. So if you want to just bring the family together and kind of do this activity that Steve has created. Thank you, Steve. Steve, do you want to talk a little bit more about it?
Absolutely. So you can go onto our Instagram or our website, and you can find out, and also or our Twitter or our Facebook, and you'll find out this Parks and Rec Defenders team we're doing. We're looking to let city council, let city government know how important to you, to your family, to your community, our parks and our recreation centers, our playgrounds are, and to make sure that they get the funding that they need. And one of the ways we're doing that is with this thing you can either print out, or you can also edit on your computer, or you can post to your Instagram story, do a lot of different ways. We'd love to get some selfies of you with showing what your favorite thing to do is to do in your park. For me, my favorite thing to do is to bike in FDR Park. I live in Lower Boyamensing neighborhood of South Philadelphia. And by the way, if you're out there, and let us know what neighborhood you're watching from. If you're watching from Philly, we want to hear what neighborhood you're in. And if you're watching from outside Philly, we want to hear that too. So please leave that in the comments, and we'll be glad to share that. So what about you, Lula? What is? I know you have a lot of favorite things to do in a lot of Philly parks, but what is one of your favorite activities in a Philly park?
Running. I have been running as long as I can remember, especially when the weather is breaking. It's a little heartbreaking right now because we're homebound, so I have to run around my neighborhood. But running in the parks, reading is another favorite thing of mine. Just another way to get out of the house, and also just even kind of disconnect from my phone or like my Kindle book as well. It's another cool way to just kind of be at the park, kind of people watch, but also read and sometimes exercise as well.
That's nice. That's really cool.
Yes. So I see that a lot more people are joining us. If you are just joining us, my name is Lula DeFersha. I am the campaign director for Philadelphia Parks Alliance, and we have Steve Taylor here. He is our social media director / producer for this initiative that we're doing, read along with our authors. Shout out to Gerald Jackson. He was our first author from Monday. Thank you for joining us. We had Sabrina, who joined us yesterday. She was incredible. And today we have John Butler. We are super, super, super excited to have him. We're going to bring him up in about a second or two to introduce him. So whenever you're ready, Steve.
Sounds good. Let's bring John on. Welcome.
Hey,
Hi, John.
how's it going?
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Are you excited to be our third reader for the week?
Super excited. Super excited to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And Steve, thank you for our producer, Steve. He has been
You got it.
amazing with just making sure that everything
I'm going
goes.
to pop back into our virtual studio, so I'll see you guys at the end of the broadcast. Bye-bye.
Bye,
All right,
Steve.
Steve.
I'll see you later. All right, John. So as you can see, we have more and more people joining us, and they want to get to know you. I want to get to know your story before you start reading to our audience, just about your background and just your how you became an author. What even inspired you? I saw that you went to Drexel University, which is
Yes.
a university. So if you could tell us a little bit more about just what inspired you to be a children's author, like what was that journey for you like?
Sure. I went to Drexel, as you mentioned, had a background in journalism.
Yeah.
I went to purchase a book for my little cousin. It was a baby shower gift. And as I went to the bookstore, I'm looking around and I just couldn't find a book that I felt as though was right. And it finally clicked at this particular bookstore. None of the items available featured African American children. So I just said, you know what? Like, I'm not going to write a letter. I don't want to speak to a manager. I know how to write. I'll get to work. And I wrote a book specifically for my little cousin to give to her to raise her child, and that became her son's first book. And that book ended up turning into the first story that I wrote and published, which was Chase Does It All.
Okay.
So, and seeing the reaction to that story and meeting people and reading at schools and libraries and different community functions, I decided that this was something I was going to keep doing to ensure that children not only had books that they could relate to, but also, created positive messages for them.
That's amazing. So that's an incredible story, first of all, for you to just go in to purchase a book and seeing something was missing. I'm assuming you had to tap into your experience of like your background to even, come up with this book and just the story behind it. So what did you envision when you were writing this book? Like what the message you want it to be?
So I just want, first, what was important for me is that children are able to see that they can literally do anything that they put their minds to. And I also want them to understand that like phones aren't everything, right? So throughout the stories, you'll notice that for the most part, it's very little cell phone, tablet use for the children. I want them to understand they can experience being able to play, going on adventures, meeting new people, learning new things.
Right.
Like if we can continue to create environments where our children are comfortable in these different spaces, the more well-rounded there will be. And let's show them some very important life skills along the way.
That's very true, especially now being 2020. You can literally access everything on your tablet. And more kids I'm noticing have cell phones, which isn't a bad thing, but I think it's also just kind of going back to the basics of just the beauty of actually having a book to read.
It's a balance.
Yeah. So I support that 100%. Can you talk a little bit more about your background, like your career? I saw that you worked, you have contributed for the NBA. You have been like a creative mind for a lot of different outlets. How that has contributed to your book as well?
Sure. Going to Drexel, coming out of Drexel, I'm a sports journalist as well. So I've done work and covered the NBA. I've covered some Super Bowls. Like that was a dream job that I didn't know was available to me as a child, right? Like I would read articles and read sports books, but never put the connection together that these are actual people. So when I had the opportunity to do so, I kind of just jumped at it, fell in love with the career and the profession. And I used those skills that I kind of picked up along the way and try to teach those at an earlier age to children when I read or when I go out to schools and libraries and summer camps to visit. Because for a lot of times, kids today also don't think about that. Like, hey, the people that actually interview my favorite athletes are in my community. So being able to have that connection with children is always a great time.
I think that's so powerful. Like you mentioned, I even remember growing up seeing some of the movie stars. You kind of put them in this category of like not almost being humans, or a dream that you can't even achieve because you don't see it around, or that's not something you have heard of. So to meet people, so thank you for what you're doing, being able to create this world for children to imagine and tell them they could be it. And it's interesting because Gerald's message on Monday, Arthur Gerald, he talked about a father's message, which was a way of preaching from a parent's perspective, but more so like his lessons and how he wants to convey that to his children, or any children really. Sabrina yesterday talked about just you really can be anything that you want. So her message is beautiful. So I'm so happy to have you today that's going to continue that message as well, to show them in different perspective of how they can achieve their dreams, but also they could reach out to potentially some of their community members who are doing the work that they're doing. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm going to pass it to you whenever you're ready. Go right ahead and get started. If you just joined us, I see that our views are growing. My name is Lula DeFersha, and I am the campaign director for Philadelphia Parks Alliance. We have today our third author for the week, John Butler. He will be reading his book today. We're super excited. So he is about to get started. So please join us. Invite the children, the family, and just enjoy this reading. Thank you, John.
Thank you. All right, so today we are going to read my second book, which is called Chase Learns to Share. Sharing is something that's very important to me because I strongly feel that if we don't share and we don't work together, it's very difficult to accomplish things. So we're going to figure out how Chase gets over his lack of sharing in this book and becomes one of the great sharers in our community. Chase woke up with a smile on his face. He was going to visit a very special place. He could barely sleep thinking about today. His parents promised to take him to the park to play. This amazing park was like no other. Chase could play basketball with his dad while being cheered on by his mother. He loved to get on the swings and imagine that he could fly, but nothing was better than the breeze he felt coming down the giant slide. They arrived at the park and Chase was ready to go. As he got closer to the swings, he shouted, "Oh no." Chase stopped in his tracks and began to stare. He couldn't help but notice that there were kids everywhere. The jungle gym was taken and so were the swings. All of the children were using Chase's favorite things. While everyone else had a smile on their face, Chase wished that he could have his own space. Chase found a bench and watched the other kids on the court. "Go play," said Dad. "Basketball is your favorite sport." Chase explained that he would rather play alone. Sadly, he asked if they could just go back home. That's when his dad gave some really good advice. To make sure that Chase understood, he said it twice. "These children love the park just as much as you. If you learn how to share, you can have fun too." Chase took the advice and walked up to a boy named Jamal. He politely asked if they could be teammates in basketball. They played together until the game came to an end. Jamal said to Chase, "You're pretty cool. We should be friends." Together, the two friends walked over to the jungle gym. That's where they met the twins, Kevin and Kim. Chase asked if they could share so that everyone would have a chance to climb. "Sounds like a great idea," said the twins at the exact same time. They all took turns and it was time for a new game. That's when a boy appeared on a skateboard. His name was Kane. Chase stared at the skateboard and couldn't help but ask, "Do you mind sharing with us? That looks like a blast." The friends took turns on the skateboard as Kane gave them tips. They noticed a girl named Jada who was about to have a fit. "I wanted that toy," she shouted. "It's not fair." That's when the group of friends decided to show her how to share. In no time at all, the problem was solved. Jada was having so much fun that she decided to tag along. Together, the friends played soccer and had a race. They even pretended to be astronauts exploring outer space. It was almost time for the children to say goodbye, but before leaving, they had to get on the giant slide. They rushed down the slide laughing with their hands in the air. Chase was glad he made new friends and so happy he learned to share. The end. So, as you can see in this story, at first, Chase was really uncomfortable with the idea of sharing. He wanted the park to be all to himself. And as children and even adults, sometimes we have that feeling of, this belongs to me, I don't want to share, keep everyone away, right? But as we learn with Chase, and we can learn with ourselves as well, if we work together, not only can we all have a good time, but we can also learn some new things like Chase did in the book. So I really hope the children and us adults too, we really take that message to heart and work on sharing a little bit more so that we can all reach our goals, learn new things, and help other people as well.
Thank you so much, John. That was a powerful message. And I do agree with you as far as what you said at the end, even adults, how we need to be an example, especially for our children or, the kids around us, that how sharing is caring. That's like the first thing that we learn. Gerald said something. He said, "Be the change you want others to see." Powerful message, which is very true. You're also a teacher that I didn't mention earlier.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Like, and how?
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm a teacher. I teach grades 7 through 12 it's a technology-based course where we really focus on, one, making sure the kids are tech savvy, but also kind of weaving their interests into there as well. A lot of times children have these great interests and they're excited about things, but don't realize that they're careers.
Right.
So I have students that are into fashion. I have students that want to be sports writers. There's students that are in the athletics and working out. So just trying to tap into each of their skill sets, the passions and things that they really care about, and show them how they can use technology, the world around them, as well as their classmates, to kind of bring those things to fruition.
Wow. I completely agree. How do you cultivate this creativity that kids have? Because that's like at a young age, that's like when we are the most creative. And a lot of time, if that's not nurtured, we lose that along the way. And as a teacher, I assume you see that on a daily basis with your students, so many creative minds. What advice do you have for parents to continue kind of push their children's creativity as they continue to grow so they don't give that up?
Sure. I think number one is to just be encouraging. Like, just always be there for children. Like, because children are going to come to you with a ton of ideas. Like, even as adults, if you think about it, we all have friends that were close to and say, "Hey, I had this idea to do this," right? That same energy and advice that you're going to give to your friend that's your age, find a way to give that same level of energy, advice, and passion to a child, and let them figure it out with guidance. I think that's important.
Do you have any message for aspiring writers, whether like their kids or adults, just from your journey? Any takeaways you would like to share with them?
Sure. Like, one of the questions that's asked often is, how do you become a writer, or how do you become a good writer or a better writer? And you just have to do it. Like, whatever you're interested in, whatever your talent is or your goal or your passion, what separates people who do it well from people who are kind of struggling to get to where they want to be is actually taking your craft seriously and doing it. So
Right.
if you want to become a better writer, write more, whether it's a book, a short story, if it's a word, if it's a sentence. The more that you write, the more comfortable that you're going to be doing so, and the easier it's going to be for you to express yourself, get your thoughts out there, tap into that level of creativity that we all have. We just need a little bit of help sometimes from ourselves to just
Right.
get it started.
Right. I 100% agree with that. Like you said, I think there's so much we can relate. I mean, I think adulthood and being kids and young adults is the same. We have the same dreams and aspirations as adults who just kind of get boggled with everyday responsibilities. So you kind of start taking things more serious. So I love your message about creativity and going after your dreams and literally just doing it and just getting started.
For sure, and just find the time too. First of all, Joy, thanks for the message. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Just find make the time for it, right? A lot of times we always say, well, there's no time. I would love to write. I would love to tap into my passions and skills, but I don't have the time for it. Start with a half an hour a day. When you dedicate that, think about all the other things that you do in the course of the day. You can find a half an hour to make the time for yourself on something that you're passionate about. So
agree.
For me, I know I like to write my thoughts in the morning and then write for structure in the evening.
Oh.
So in the morning, I'll write down whatever the thought is.
Okay.
I have my entire day to think about it whenever it pops up. And at night, I'm dedicating the time to actually put it into a structure.
Oh, I love that. I think I'm going to take that advice and apply it to my personal life as well. I love that.
Nice.
So where can people find you? Where how if people want to learn more about your books,
Sure.
or if they want to invite you to read at their local rec centers or schools, how can people reach out to you?
Sure. Social media is easy for a lot of people. I'm on Instagram at _Chase Books, on Facebook at Chase Does It All. My email address is chasedoesitall@gmail.com.
Okay.
And of course, there's more information about the book series and my career in literacy at chasebooks.com.
Thank you so much, John. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have Steve just joined us, our producer, Steve.
I want to thank everyone for joining us here. And if you want to let us know where you're, thanks for those of us who did let us know where you're checking in from. There's actually a special shout out that I want to make sure we pull up again here of people who are watching from Miss Icy's Little Busy Bees Daycare watching. So thank you very, very much, Icy. We really appreciate you bringing us to your daycare. And we'll be here again. What time is it tomorrow? 4 o'clock or
4:30.
4:30 tomorrow. 4:30 tomorrow. Okay, it might be later than, not sure if that's the time, but anyway, watch tomorrow. Why don't you tell us a little bit about tomorrow's offer then too?
Yes. So tomorrow we have, excuse me, we have a 4:30 reading with John Marshall, another John. We're super excited. He's also a local author that he will be reading his book. So we are doing this Monday through Thursday. So tomorrow is our last reading for the week, and then we'll be back again next Monday, and we'll provide that information hopefully by Friday. We're still kind of confirming the times. Yes, or Monday. But just keep coming back to our page and keep checking our Facebook page and Instagram page to see the upcoming readings that we have. So tomorrow will be our final reading for the week. This week, John, you were amazing. You have been incredible just to see this idea grow to what it is right now. I'm super grateful for all the 3 authors so far who have joined us, from Gerald to Sabrina, now to John, and then tomorrow John as well. So we're super, super excited for that.
Yeah, I might not have gotten this quote this exactly right here, but while you were talking, there was one I thought related so much to what you do and to our mission. And these children love the park just as much as you. If you learn to share, you can have fun too. And that's like with the whole idea of physical. We like to use the term physical distancing because we're not socially distant.
Right.
We're all in different places right now, but we're all connecting here. So we want to be physically distant by 6 feet or more when we're in the parks there. We're sharing the parks. But the thing about our love for the park, and earlier on, we told you a little bit about our, let's see here, there we go. Just a second here. And There we go. Our Instagram, if you go to our Instagram account, which I'm going to pull up our Instagram here so you can take a look at our social media for a second. And I'm also going to take off that really cool quote. So again, if you go to our Instagram, it's Phillip Arts Alliance, and the easy place to find this. And there's also a link to where you can print it out or download it to put it on your computer and do other stuff with it. We're really trying to get people to do this, show what their favorite thing to do in a park is. For me, it's biking at FDR Park, which I'm going to do later this afternoon because I the closest, well, one of the closer parks to me, one of many parks I like. So check that out. And I'm going to take that off the screen for now and then show you a few more of the comments that came in during the broadcast here. We're really excited to see our returning authors coming back and listening, like Gerald, who's our very first author. Yeah. And want to give another shout out to the Busy Bees Daycare, and hope to see you back soon. You can check out. We'll be letting you know what our schedule is for next week very soon, so you'll be able to see if those times will work for you as well. So another ones here. We had let's see, just to bring out some another one here from we have a new one here. John Butler watching from Coatesville. So that's really, really great to see people all around watching, and really, really exciting. And just to know that even though the broadcast is ending soon, it will live here on Facebook forever. You can share the same link, but we also want to make it easier for you to find our archives and go back to them. So those are all being uploaded to YouTube, and so you can go to find us on YouTube. We also have a favor to ask of you. So I'm going to show you what our current YouTube address is. We don't want this address. I mean, you can go to YouTube right now and search for Philadelphia Parks Alliance. We'll pop right up. You'll find us. It'll be no problem. But we want to get something that says youtube.com/Philadelphia Parks Alliance. But we have to have at least 100 subscribers. And as of before this broadcast, we had 19. So we need 81 more subscribers so we can go and then request a change of name or a change of web address, of URL from YouTube. That's really something we want to do because we want to make it even easier for people to find these broadcasts and all the other stuff we do. Lula and I had a nice chat after the show yesterday, and we're exciting we're really excited for the Parks and Rec Centers to open up after things clear up, but we're not going to probably have the time to do this every day when we've got to go out to support parks and rec centers. But we are definitely going to be continuing this in person, in parks and rec centers when it's okay to do so, when that is. But in the meantime, we're really excited to be able to bring this from home. I'm so excited. It was Lula's idea, and she has gotten all of our guests gathered there, and it's doing a job. We're so grateful for that.
This was a team effort, truly. It started with an idea, and like I said earlier, I text Gerald. Gerald just kind of ventured out and reached out to these wonderful authors that have been able to read with us. So I'm super grateful for that. We have people from Overbrook, West Philly. Hi, everyone. Again, we're ending the broadcast, and this is our author, John Butler. But this will be up. It's recorded, so please reshare it, like it, love it. Invite more people. We'll be back again tomorrow at 4:30 for another reading. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.